of the Northorious Podcast. I'm yours truly, DJ Ruffee.
I'm Sly.
I'm Black Boy.
I'm Peekay, and we have Geek Beats recording us today.
We are very bad hosts, Sha. We didn't introduce our guest.
Yeah, and I'm just Geek Beat had his birthday like a few weeks ago, or a week ago.
Yeah, no, that was on Saturday.
24th.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So happy. What do you say?
Birthday.
Birthday, yeah. And it's been a crazy. It's been crazy these past few weeks though. We are unable to record because like the ongoing NSAS protest and stuff. But yeah, we're glad to be here. PK is Razak is unavoidably absent.
Yeah.
Abdul is unavoidably absent. Noel, of course. So Sly, what's been going on past weeks, man?
Too much, I think. But also, it's been very interesting, like where we are, how we got here, and how everybody. Not you can't say everybody, you can't generalize, but most people took responsibility, and I don't know. It was like organic. Everything was in place for where we are, in the sense that schools have been shut for a very long time, and Big Brother had finished. There was no football that weekend, and like there was all the distractions that kept people occupied or schools. Many people lost their jobs. There was like almost nothing happening, and then in I think Delta State, the police shot somebody again for the 999th time. Shot somebody again, and I think it was just one death too many. Then a few people, celebrities, I think I'll point to them, Fowles and Rontal, led their own protest, and from there it just became organic. Everybody owned it. It was like everybody felt like it should be mine. Like I should be leading this, and so because of that, there was no one person they could point to and harass, or SSS will just kidnap you. You are missing the protest dies.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, but there's a long road ahead. And what was even more interesting for me is looking at the people who went out every day, the people who risked everything, were those who even had the most to lose. Most to lose in the sense that they were 19 years old. Like, you've only just finished secondary school, nothing, no job, you haven't probably just in first or second year, or you've finished service. Like, they had the longest part of their lives was ahead of them. And maybe what was good for them was that they didn't have any experience of a government clampdown, like no military regime history. They only read about it and maybe see movies, but they were born in 2000. They know freedom. Like, nobody should cage you. You do what you want. Even your parents, you tell them, mommy, this is what I want to do, or daddy, this is what I want to do. Some of us now cane and this thing we use grow. So it's many things, like many different parts just played together and then brought us to a point where we are now. And I was at home, somebody called me and said, how far now? We should do a protest. And I was like, yeah, we should, but I didn't even know how to start. And then this guy just tweeted, tomorrow, 12 o'clock.
I want Black to speak, to be the last to speak.
Somebody just tweeted, tomorrow, 12 o'clock, if you are with me. Yeah, he'll be going every day. And I think I saw pictures of the first hour. It was probably only him with his megaphone and placard. And then 2 days later, there were hundreds of people. They were doing it every day. And, just the way that it's just, I don't know. It was nice to watch. It was, I had chills every time I went there, like just standing and just looking like, really, this is what Nigeria has come to. It was nice that it happened, but also I just feel like if we had a government that was awake, we shouldn't get here. And even now, they are still just dancing around the issue. Our Plateau State governor called some people and said nothing.
We're going to get into these extensive conversations. I want to ask this question. Do you guys think the protest not being politically motivated or being sponsored by guys in the upper echelons, like, led to the success of these protests. Like, people they were going to attribute the protest to being sponsored by opposition party. Do you think that being organic, like he has said, contributed to the success of this protest?
Yeah, hugely. Because we know for a fact that when politicians want to do stuff, most of the crowd that they gather for those kind of things are not people that, should I say, are patriotic. It's usually just thugs that get small change and then they just go out to disrupt things or rig election or, kidnap and do stuff. Politically motivated things usually do not last. Yeah. But this one, everybody was, as you said, one of the things that most of the things that contributed were around, people losing their jobs, people on ASU strike, and then there was now COVID-19. Most people were just at home. Yeah. Some people were working virtually. So everybody had that time, and that was I think those were some of the factors that helped us to just ensure that this thing was big. And it spiraled down to like everywhere. People protested almost everywhere. It's just in the core north that you don't see a lot of protest. I think in the whole of the north, Jos was the one. Jos, people held it down the most.
Down also, but Jos
was consistent. Yeah. From the 9th, I think from the 9th to the day that they had that riot, which was I think 22nd or so. Yeah. It was consistent. We only missed one day, and that was the first Sunday of the protest because we said guys needed to rest, and then we didn't know like there was going to be a longer journey ahead of us. So it was organic, and one of the reasons why it was organic is because it was not politically motivated. We didn't have people coming to say that they were leaders. Because if someone had come to say, I'm the leader of this protest, I'm the one organizing it, if he had gone to sleep, people would have gone back to sleep. Exactly. Yeah. But you can see that the days that them fouls and them run town said they were going to take a break, people were still coming out. Yeah. Even when we knew those guys that went to start sleeping at Alausa government house in Lagos were taking their own break, people were still coming out. Like, a lot more people were coming out. As you take your own break, someone else is out there. Like, as one person rests, like 5 people are out there to come and replace you. So it was great, and I'm really happy for the kind of responses. Even though I wouldn't say the responses are satisfactory at the moment, but it actually elicited a response, and that's what we wanted. We wanted people to hear, because if you work closely with the government, you understand that. And I'm not making any excuse for any leader. The truth is, sometimes those guys don't really know what's happening. They don't know, because they have yes men around them. They just tell you, Oga, everything is going well. Oga, the roads that you've made, they are durable, they are there.
The people are saying this.
But when you, the common man, you go out, you see that roads that were made 2-3 years ago are now bad. They are causing a lot of havoc, bringing about accidents and all that. But nobody around the governor or the president or the House of Reps member or senator comes to tell him, man, you need to go back to your constituency. Something is happening and it's going to be terrible. Yeah. We need to curtail this now. So this has been going on for a while, and because we realized that these guys weren't getting the right message, we needed to send that right message.
Yeah. And so, do you think that's why Sly has been tackling a certain character on Twitter?
I would want to ignore that. I would want us to ignore that conversation, because the truth is that if you are a patriotic Nigerian, you wouldn't really be concerned about some of those very trivial things. What we want on the long run, like the overarching goal is, we want a better Nigeria for everybody. When our parents were in school, people that were even graduating with diplomas had jobs waiting for them. Like, they had all those benefits. Yeah. Today, you are coming out with your masters, your PhD, and you're even looking for jobs you can't find.
You're looking for Godfather too. Yeah. You go and meet this chairman, he'll tell you, okay, I'll talk to this guy, I'll talk to that guy. It's just difficult. There's where I work. One day I was part of a committee talking with, and then one much older man, a professor. He now makes a comment about others' generation. And I'm like, okay, please, let's not go there. And he, just obviously being jovial about it, but I'm like, I beg, let's not go there. And he was just still poking. I just say, okay, if you want to go there, what is it that you guys enjoyed about Nigeria? One thing that you enjoyed about Nigeria that you kept for the people coming behind you. Not one. All the schools you went to, you finished them. All the farms you guys had, everything, they finished all. Like termites, they just finished everything. Nothing left for the people behind them. You see, these guys left the village. They didn't know anybody. They got admission. From there, the state sponsored them to do masters and PhD all over the world. Then they came back, they had jobs. You are 30 something. You are a governor or a president. You like nobody. Your father was
head of state at 32.
You understand? Your father is a village man. Like he doesn't know anybody. You two, you don't know anybody. And there was a speech that this guy gave recently, Jang, about how he went into the Air Force. He didn't know anybody. He resumed with nothing. He just walked into the place. Like just think about that kind of Nigeria. Like, okay, if there is an exam, these 3 people passed, and those 3 people don't know anybody, and they get into something. Yeah. But it's just a mess. It's just a mess. It's not even if you know one person now, it's not even longer enough.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Knowing one person is not even enough.
You like a couple of people and still have money.
Yes, and still have money to spend. It's getting worse. The best days are just behind.
Yeah.
And those best days were even bad. Though. Yeah. It's not even like we're saying those days were heaven. Those days were not great, but they are behind.
It's worse.
Yeah, it's worse now.
Okay, let's trickle down to how the protest started here in Jos. Vic.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was when I monitored, because some of us in press some of us were not able to be like there, the front lines, but we're able to see like how it started organically from 1 person, 2 people, 5, 10, and then it just before we knew it was thousands of people on the street. How did that happen?
Okay, so that morning let me just take it back a little bit. So I think 3-4 years ago, we protested to the government house because of the insecurity killings in the rural areas, Plateau State. So during that protest, after the protest, the government banned protests in Plateau State. Yeah. So when Fowles and Runtown were all when they came out and said, okay, we're going to start protesting in Lagos, I was like, okay. That morning I was in the gym. I was like, but wait, why are we not protesting in Jos? We have SARS in Jos. SARS has stopped like 3 of my friends and they've collected money from them in Jos. Just I don't know if SARS has actually killed anyone, but they actually stop and they harass guys in Jos. So I was like, okay, but why are we not protesting in Jos? Yeah, I know they've banned protests, but that doesn't. Protest is like the fundamental right of it's like the only way citizens have to check the government. Yeah, to check the government. It's the only way we have to air our voices, because our representatives, they don't even do anything. So like this is the direct way we can actually immediately send out our demands. But okay, this is what I'm going to do, because first of all, you can't force anyone to come out and I mean, if you don't want. And then the reason why I didn't say come on, let's protest, the reason why I said I'm going to go and stand at Old Airport with the placard is because I know they've put a ban on protest. So I don't want to drag people and then something happens. So like, even if they're going to come and carry this, someone carry me, at least I've still done my part. So I was in the gym that morning, I was like, okay, do you know what? Let me just tweet this. I'll go and stand at Old Airport every day with those in Lagos till it's done. I didn't even know it was actually going to become such a huge thing. I didn't know. So I made that tweet about 10 a.m. and I said by 12 I'll be at Old Airport that same day. By 12 I'll hold my placard till the protest was over nationally. And immediately I posted, I saw that I was just seeing very positive. I'm at work today, I'll make it tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, wow, people are actually very cautious of what's happening. People are actually very proactive. And by 12 when I came out, I saw. I think when I reached there, I think there were about 12 people already waiting. I didn't know like half of them, but apparently they saw the tweet. And are you black? I'm like, yeah. Are you from Twitter? Yeah. Wow. Then from there we just vibed. And I think at the end of the day, before we moved from Old Airport, we were about 12, 13. Then we started moving. Like 3-4 people joined us. At the end of the day, we were about maybe 17, 18 at the end of everything. Yeah. And that day we marched to the State House of Assembly. But they said they were not, well, the guys were going back or come back tomorrow again. And then tomorrow, the next day, we were like, that was when PK came in and some other guys. Next day, we were like, we were up to 30.
Yeah, we were more than 30.
More than 30, yeah.
By the time we reached Hill Station Junction, we were over 50.
No, the next day, we were actually a lot, I remember.
Yeah, when
they stopped us, we were actually a lot. We were like, about 50, 60, just like you said. Yeah. Then we took a break on Sunday. Then Monday, that was when we started seeing
a lot of
the real Jos crowd. Like people left work. It was very amazing. It was very amazing.
And what do you think served as the motivation? Because this thing, it was not like people were actually let's just forcing people to do this. What do
Yeah.
you think was like the real motivation behind? Do you think that people had this, like in Sudan, what sparked a revolution was an increase in price of bread.
Oh, okay.
And the one in Nigeria, do you think people were just waiting for, like he said, that was one too many killings and people just got tired?
I agree with what Sly said. I think it was one too many killings. I think that point people it was just too much. At that point people couldn't take it no more. Like it was just too much. I think everybody was waiting for something to just give them the right avenue to come out.
And you know, like there was what do you call it? There's consistently every year the bite of living in Nigeria becomes more painful.
Yeah.
Consistently every year, from just everything. The price of everything is going up. Your salary is the same.
Nothing gets better.
Then they increase the tariff of electricity, increase petroleum,
and it never comes down.
Yeah, everything was just at the same time.
Then NLC pretended they were going to go on strike. Yeah. Then they called off the strike, achieved nothing.
NLC is a topic for another day.
They called off the strike. So I think the NSAS was like NLC, since you guys are not going to do this, yes, we'll just so it started with SARS, but as we all know, it evolved to end bad governance. It's just frustration generally. True. And then too many idle people. Like if you saw the videos I saw in Lagos before this just palliative warehouse, it was just too many people that had nothing to lose. Like if I die, after all, I'm not even alive. Like Aisha Yusuf said, just many people who had like nothing. I mean, if I die, what am I? I'm not even alive. Tomorrow is not going to be better than today. There are many people who are in the position where
if I don't get shot today, I might get shot tomorrow.
Yeah, so why not? And then look at how even roofing shit. So you just know that somebody's house has been leaking for years. Somebody's house has been leaking for years, and there was nothing to fix it. Not to justify it, but there's just too many immediate needs that people can't meet because the government is failing. And even sadly is how unique Plateau State is. Plateau State just is like a small model of Nigeria. Plenty of potential. But that's just all there is. It's just potential until somebody wakes up and maybe one governor is serious that we can now achieve. And it's the same thing with Nigeria. There's every state in Nigeria has things that are unique to it, that it can not just even supply the whole country, but even export.
That's completely
yes, but we're just waiting for the guys in Niger Delta when NNPC mines crude, exports it, bring it back, sells to us, then they'll share the money, then the rest of us they'll pay salary. We're just waiting for that one source. Think of potatoes in Plateau, for example, or cabbages or strawberries, or in I think during what's the name? The beginning of this lockdown, I saw on BBC Kenya's largest source of foreign exchange exporting roses. And roses grow in Jos too.
Of course.
Rose flower. Yes. So they have greenhouses, like how we have greenhouses for vegetables. They have greenhouses for roses. Then they cut them just before they bloom. They package them into a bouquet and send to all these countries where all these people, these white people that buy flowers, roses can't grow in their country. And they are the ones who buy flowers for their girlfriends, mothers, uncles, aunties, everybody. So there's somewhere in Africa that it comes from. Yes, so it's just like I said, the frustration bites harder. We are becoming more.
Yes.
The population is the only thing that is growing. So everything else gets worse. The same number of roads.
We have to scramble for
the same resources. Yes, the same resources.
And I think, right, man, like, I'm just trying to add to what Sly said, right? We aren't being as innovative as we should be, because you're even talking about roses and potato and cabbage, petroleum. Like, these are things that that any child that, for example, you give birth to a child, he knows that petrol is a good resource that can give him money. Potato is one of them. In countries like I think Tunisia also, and in Peru, in northern Peru. Do you know one of their biggest exports is bird droppings?
Wow.
Bird droppings. They sell it out as fertilizer.
Wow.
And that's one of their biggest source of income in those kind of places. I think when I was in primary school, then when we used to read through things in Guinness World Record, I think in Tunisia then, either Tunisia or I think Tunisia or Algeria, their biggest source of income as at then was bird droppings, like bird dung. So just imagine we have more than that in Nigeria. And
Think of the poultry farms.
Just think of the poultry
Just.
farms around. In just alone.
Just.
You understand? Like people are trying to make do with as little as they can get. So why is it that in Nigeria that we have these big things? We have peanuts, we have cocoa, we have petroleum, we have almost everything you can think of.
We have the population.
We have the population, the human resources.
I think this period, like we all have like rightly said, this period was like an awakening.
Yeah.
Like a paradigm shift. Like people are becoming more aware, you know, one, of their rights, you know, then two, of the potential this country has, and how far long we've been cheated. So people are just waiting for, okay, let this just come and let air out. And what is most intriguing about the video that came out of Jos is people attribute this place to food. When you talk about Jos, the next thing that comes to your mind is food.
Free.
You get like fresh food, cheap food. You know. Then you see the same place where you say there's cheap food. People are like almost a stampede.
Honestly,
you get maize.
I'm sure it's just because it was a crime being committed.
Yeah.
If it was like a church or something, would have had the figure, or like a normal show or something, would have had the figure of who got injured, or even if anybody died.
But it's just because
you can't go and report that in so X place I got injured, because I mean, why were you there in the first place?
Yeah.
If not, it's the crowd was scary.
It was
scary.
Crowd,
it was scary.
Like people in Europe and US are tweeting those videos and pictures and like, wow, they're like, this is the hunger in Nigeria. Like, oh my god.
So back to Beyonce and Anthony Joshua's argument when they were saying Beyonce was saying she was going to get a uniform for food and stuff. You know, that alone like exonerated her. Like her argument became valid. Because we're trying to hide that part and say like, okay, this is not about hunger. This is about people coming out to share their agitations and stuff. You know, and I want us to actually talk about the North as it relates to protest and as it relates to agitations in Nigeria. We will see that when you talk about Northern Nigeria and the states that represented that actually stood out to protest, you just call Plateau and Kaduna. Do you think it comes from a place do you think it comes from a place of people who have long time experienced crisis, or it just has to do with the North being divided on its own?
I think it comes from being subdued for so long. Like Plateau and Kaduna there's been killings at least every month for years. At least once in one of the two states, at least every month for years, and not one person is standing trial. You know, nothing. There'll just be the governor went to visit. If the governor even goes to visit, there'll be pictures. They met with religious leaders, they met with elders of the community, and then tomorrow it happens again, and then we repeat the same process that didn't solve the problem 10 years ago.
That's madness.
Do you understand? The governor went to visit. He spoke to religious leaders and traditional leaders that the two communities should learn to live in peace. Yes. all those kind of rubbish things and then if tomorrow we'll still repeat the same process,
the same village, the same.
You don't understand? The exact same thing. So I think it's just like I said, it's more than SARS. It's just like 1,000 things. You can't list them all. But it was like the last straw that they say breaks the camel's back. It was just that last thing that like, I beg, I don't do this one again. You know, when you're just being bullied, and then you just one day like, fuck this shit, man. Whatever is going to happen, let it just happen. So Plateau and Kaduna have that those years of
they share the same plight.
Yes, those years of pain and just the inefficiency, the neglect from the government for years, and so it was just like a final cry, like whatever, at least let me shout, let people know that something is happening to me here. And then the people down north, Kuma, they have their own issues of is Zanasu Achiri, Baba Buhari, and Mulki. Like, what has Baba Buhari's Mulki brought for you?
Yeah. I think that's why they are so angry at Aisha Yesufu. Because when she came out with her video and she like broke down her pain, her agitation, her frustration, and sending a message to her brethren down in the north. And then it is, I think any agitation against government is a fight against Buhari. I think that's how it's perceived.
And
that's how it's perceived.
but progressively, it has being in government has become that bad. Like you can't hear one DG or one executive secretary or even a governor speak and not mention Buhari's name. And I just wonder, like, what is this dick sucking contest? Like, you have your office, Buhari has his own office. If he didn't think that you can do this office, especially the ones who are even appointed, if he didn't, it's just like, for example, let's say this Center for Disease Control, and then you are just giving a speech and you say, in line with the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration speech, and everybody is in line with the president. Yes, you are working for the administration, so you should be in line. But I never see, like, for example, in the US, this Fauci guy and Trump, they are permanently in disagreement.
Yes.
And he has his job.
It's you doing your job.
And he has his job, and Trump has his job. But in Nigeria, you cannot. This NCDC guy cannot say Buhari.
He's out now.
Cannot say. First of all, EFCC will just catch you at your gate. They give you suspension.
Right now.
So we've come to a place where we cannot criticize a government without the person in government feeling attacked. Or the people who support the person in government feeling that they are attacking the person. So I cannot say gig beats. I don't like this beat too. And then Sly don't like me. Do you understand? It's not
about the beat.
Yes, it's no longer about the beat. Sly don't like me. That day he say he don't like my beat. Now your beat he say he don't like. So if they say Buhari is not doing well, or police, it's even police safe. And they didn't even say Anasu Achiri Baba. The IG. Do you understand? They just jump to Buhari, and then because they have kept these guys perpetually in poverty, in illiteracy, they don't know any better. They don't know any better.
So I want us to okay,
so just add on your question. Why I think Plateau State and Kaduna are only one of the few states in this region that are actually very vocal about the whole issue. And this is why I think I feel it comes from a place of let's say wokeness in quotes. It's a level of control the government has over people that are in the far north. The level of control, but I feel as if it's not that bad here. For example, the governor in the state north can just tell the whole youth, do this, and you see them doing it, all of them. But it can't happen here. I think it's because we know more than they wish we knew. Yeah. I think because we know, even in Kaduna, it's Kaduna South that is protesting, not Kaduna North. Kaduna North is but let's say the government is in quote with the government, but South, as you know, is like the government is against Kaduna South. So I feel one of the reasons why you see just Plateau and Kaduna is because we know what's happening, and I think we're knowledgeable. We're knowledgeable. Even the very knowledgeable like Aisha, she's very smart and knowledgeable woman. That's why I see her say what she said.
So my next question is going to in line with what you've said.
Before you ask your next question, right? Let me just add to the fact that Nigeria, just like a lot of some other countries, has this, should I say, has some sort of polarized geography where you have a region being very conservative and another region being very liberal.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, that's actually how it is.
It still goes down to just
the north is actually more conservative than the south.
So
when people in the south are saying, I want to speak for myself, and the next one says, I want to speak for myself, and like 5 people are coming out to the street because they just feel like they need to express themselves.
I've never thought about
people in the north will say, let me wait and hear what my religious leader or my traditional leader will say. Whatever he says is what I go with. So they're always waiting for that. And if you notice, like what Victor said, even in Kaduna itself, it's not the whole of Kaduna.
Yeah.
Like the Kaduna protests are actually happening in Barnawa, which is
yeah.
Kaduna South local government, where you have a predominantly Christian population. Some people tried to protest in Makurdi at some point, but I don't know why the Makurdi protest was just like they just clamped down on them. I really don't know why, but they just clamped down on them. I think because Makurdi has this is not really like Jos, but Makurdi is actually a very, very sensitive town.
They're very sensitive.
In Jos, you do stuff, you kind of raise the dust, and people try to say, let's divide ourselves again along religious lines and fight. In Makurdi, their own is somewhat different. That's because there a lot of thugs, all those kind of cult activities happening. So when people start coming out in that for those kind of things like protest, someone tries to hijack it and use it for his own different cause. It might just be, man, these guys they are messing with me. I want to go and use this crowd now and deal with a cult, and that's how it is there. In Jalingo, I think there were some people protested for a short while, but I said
it almost happened in Kano, and then.
Yeah, it did happen for like a day. They said a 17-year-old died in police custody or something like that.
Yeah.
There's, Salkida. This journalist, he has a new, I don't know what to call it, media outfit that he started called Human Angle, like Human Angle.
Yeah.
So I put turned on notification on their post, and then something about a 17-year-old dying in police custody, and it was from torture. So it was for a day, they protested.
Okay, so now I can ask my question because it's in line with what you guys have said. For a state where we have people who are predominantly woke in Victor's parlance, and then we have a governor who is not vocal about protecting this region. It's like he's just a yes man, or he's being used to propagate a certain agenda. Because I don't understand why we have people agitating from your state and saying this, we do not want this. But you go and align, with your other northern governors and governors from your own party and say, okay, my people are saying this, but this is what we're saying. What do you guys have to say about that? For one, Lalong is the chairman, Northern Governors Forum, and he's supposed to be like the amplifier, someone who projects the voice for the people in this region. And then he's like diametrically opposed to our ideologies here. So what are your thoughts?
First of all, I think that's exactly why we are frustrated. That's why we are angry. We are angry because you left the state and you are aware that people are on the street protesting against the same thing. But you went to a meeting to say the whole state is for it. When people have been on the street for days. I think he left after some days, after after some days, he went to the meeting to say the state is for it. And that actually made us very, it felt like, is this man blind? But you understand he's doing it for, he has his own personal interest. He knows why he's doing it. And I think we all know why he's doing it. He's doing it to please someone. But it's actually very, very, very annoying, and it's actually very sad to say. Because people in your state are saying we don't want this, but you went ahead to say the whole of state is for this. And then when we had the town hall meeting with him, he said he knows these things are happening, but in his words he was like, not every policeman is bad, so because of that we can't flush out all the policemen.
And we're not really asking for all the policemen to be flushed out.
That's not what I think. There's a misconception.
It's not a misconception. It's deliberate.
It's deliberate.
It's not a misconception.
They just don't want. They know it.
You know that in a lot of institutions, in a lot of, not just the police force, in a lot of institutions, you have bad eggs in quotes. Yeah. So what we are asking for is, can those bad eggs be fished out and be left out? Yeah.
And if it was about because there are some bad people, why is it because of some bad people he banned protesting just?
Good.
Yes, exactly.
Do you understand?
Why allow the good ones continue?
And did you guys see what the document that was released yesterday, where northern governors were saying they used religion and ethnicity to frustrate or to curb or to curl or quell the agitation. Did you guys see the
I saw it, but I couldn't bring myself to read it.
It was quite distasteful.
Because why I couldn't bring myself to read it.
What he says is the meeting, that's the governors forum meeting, expresses The meeting commends the roles of His Eminence, Royal Highness, and other royal fathers in ensuring that the NSAS protest did not escalate significantly in the north by adopting sentimental issues such as ethnicity and religion. So they are publicly saying that they actually adopted
divisions.
Yeah.
So
divide and conquer.
It
Exactly.
is clear now. These people have made it clear that religion and ethnicity are two strong tools used by the government and people in power to frustrate the people. And he also lends, he also validates our argument when we're saying those thugs nationwide were sponsored by the government.
Exactly.
You get so this in a sane climb or in countries where people are actually sensitive.
This should not go on.
This alone,
Yeah.
you get an indictment on or against the leaders from this particular region. So it is. That's why my pain is like you said. It is frustrating for people who are this woke to be represented by people who are very, very, very highly and grossly incompetent. And then again, I think. Do you guys think if this protest has because everyone's saying we're not the leader, we're not going to spearhead, we're not going to be the face of this protest or this campaign. Do you think if the protest had a face to it, or people representing them, there would have been it have led to faster results, or there would have been some more positive response from the government?
No, it wouldn't have. An easy example is look at what happened with Davido.
Yeah.
He just, it's easy to think you have clout. It's easy to think you are confident, you're influential, you are this, you understand the plights of the people. But also, these guys in office also have a game that they play. And to be honest, like we said, whatever the governor said, it was intentional. They know what they are doing. And this admission of using ethnicity and religion confirms that they actually do know what they are doing. Yeah. So if we are 100 that are demanding 5 things, come and address the 100 of us. Idoko will take away from it what he will take away from it. I'll take away from it what I'll take away from it. Victor will take away from it what he will take away from it. And then we can also meet and discuss. And then it's just Peekay was saying, the north is the conservative part of Nigeria, and I had never thought about it like that. Yeah. I just usually see it as them being, to be honest, religious bigots. Yeah. There are many exposed ones of one of them, but you talk about the majority and what happens there. It's what was I saying?
The religion, ethnicity.
So yes, it's this having a leader wouldn't have led anywhere, because these guys have games that they play, and we just saw how Davido became confused.
Even Segalink.
Yes, you just become confused. You just see a very good person that probably has good intentions. Like obviously Davido doesn't want anything. For Segalink, I cannot say the same. But for Davido, obviously he has his career. He's probably a billionaire. Doesn't want anything from anybody. And
I became very suspicious when Segalink handed off.
Yeah.
And then it was like he was warned. Yeah. And told these things. This is what we're going to do. Because if you don't talk to your people and let them know that we're going to just clamp down on it. So he just and immediately he hands off, from the campaign.
And he hands off and he said what was going to happen.
Yes.
He said what was going to happen, and then it started happening. So they probably threatened him, and he tried to. And then, like I said, everybody owned it. It didn't belong to anybody. It's our collective problem, and it's just. They wouldn't have helped. Having a leader wouldn't have helped anything. And it's just like this. Like for example, in Plateau State, I wonder what they are doing at their what did that in
panel?
Yeah. In Plateau State, I wonder what they are doing at the judicial panel. They say people should submit 10 copies.
Okay, you're there?
I went late. I don't know. It's like that thing just happened for like 1 hour because it was supposed to start.
Is there media presence?
So I was
just tell us what happens there.
Okay, so the thing is, I was there. It was supposed to start 10. I was there. I was there 11:40. Around 11:40. So when I got there, the hall was empty. So I asked someone, what happened? They said they're done. Like they're done. How? Said they inaugurated and then they did what they do and they left. So I entered. I met one of them, one of the secretaries among the panel. I was like, okay, so how do you know what has happened? How do you get information from this meeting? Because for people that cannot be there, at least they should be informed via social media. He was like, okay, he didn't think of it from that angle, but because their only means of passing information is through the commissioner for information. They have to send it back to the commissioner. For the commissioner I'm like, that's too long. We need someone to either tweet or post immediately as it's happening. Take pictures and give us as it's happening.
So I told you, asking of media presence, you have like what is NUJ in Plateau State doing actually? Because you can't have.
They should even have interns and say you go and
cover this thing. And let's have, like you said, when the age of social media, someone can just be there. Even if we can't watch it, we are live. We can just see the tweets live as it happens.
Okay, you mentioned NUJ, Nigerian Union of Journalists. I saw a flyer like some days ago. NUJ inviting the governor to come and help them in their fundraising to buy a car. Now I'm like, why are journalists doing this? Like, are they trying to be bought? Because I mean, if the governor is doing this to you, he has done the favor to you. That means you have become a puppet to you. Like, you should never be exactly. So like, why is this happening? So if you check it, the problem is deeply rooted. It's deeply rooted. NUJ they're supposed to actually fighting for this. They're already on the government side. So
now that they're trying to frustrate us on social media, and then trying to sell an idea using young people in government, to actually sell the idea that regulating social media or passing social media bill is right for the country. What are your thoughts on that?
My problem with Nigeria again, but all the time is China regulated social media and they have success. China also has industries. You understand? China has a high literacy level. Most people in China speak at least two international languages. There are many other things to copy from China.
They use common law.
Yeah.
So it's capital punishment for corruption.
For corruption. Yeah. There are many things to copy from China. We always you go here, you pick one. You go here, you pick one. Yeah, and they copy the whole thing. So if we are replicating China, let's replicate China. Then we'll know from the top to bottom we are photocopying China. Then we can now also go and study Chinese law, and everybody now know what we are holding the government up to. But we just I don't know. So, copying everything that we copy from here and there.
What really bothers me is we saw the drama between Desmond Elliot and what's her name, and some other people, and other people in the Lagos State House of Assembly. It is, we keep clamoring for young people to be in government, and then how important it is for young people to be in government, and then we still see young people trying to frustrate young people, who have intentions of doing good for the government. So, do you think what Desmond Elliot, Moji Sola, Elisha Abo, Governor Yaya Bello, these young people in government, do you think they are actually going to frustrate the efforts of young people who want to go into governance?
Is Buhari frustrating the efforts of old people in government? Do you understand that? There are old people, there are bad examples and good examples of everything. The guy in Edo is in what do you call it? Oyo, he's doing well. Donald Duke did very well. Do you understand? You can pick good and bad examples. There was that guy who he lost his second term, but I don't know how well the House of Assembly performed under him, but he was eloquent, he communicated effectively. That one guy that was speaker.
Okay, damn.
What speaker?
The guy that wears with white cap.
Dimeji
Bankole.
Yes, Dimeji Bankole. You know, there are characters that at least you can be proud of. And there are also characters that you can look and this guy is a shame. So it doesn't, for me,
it depends on who you want to pick out.
Yes, it depends on who you want to pick out as
for me, I always tell people, right? Like we keep saying young people in governance. I don't think that in itself is a solution.
Yes.
It's not just young people, but it's young people that actually have the interest of the people. Some guys, for example, I would just assume that some of these people are just there because they were pushed to go there. And that's why they are clueless. If you go there and you really have people at heart, you go into politics or you go into governance you try as much as possible to ensure that things work for you. Just like some of the few examples that Slide mentioned. If it doesn't work for you, it's very simple. It's not by force to be in the office. You resign. You resign. You say, guys, I don't think I'm able to do this.
It's not
I
what
would
I
want
thought
someone
it
that is
was.
more competent. But you see, Nigerians don't want to even hear resignation. They don't even know that that's an option. They just think if I'm there, I have to be there till my tenure ends or till I die.
No matter how bad it
Like we die here. It's not by force, and it's not dishonorable to resign. It is not.
I think the black skin sees it as dishonorable, so they will even like try to fight for a third term until they get old and then.
Like me personally, I always will see. I have no interest in politics and governance because it's not like I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I feel like I might not be able to really fight the fight that I'm thinking that is going to be possible.
And then cry like I.
Just imagine you go to the House of Reps. Just imagine you go to the House of Reps of all the 30. No, the House of the Senate, for example. Not even the Reps. Let even go to the Senate. In the Senate, every state has 3 representatives. That's 36 times 3. FCT has 1. Imagine you're like one of the 10 guys in that number, 109 or so, to have like good intentions for the country. How do you want to fight it? How do you want to fight them?
Even in civil service,
Even in the civil service, it's everywhere.
Now.
Then now go to the reps where they are like over 300. How do you want to now start saying, I want to stand alone and start fighting these people?
So where do we go from here?
You have to come
Where we are now,
I agree with you.
where we are now, sensitization, like this protest alone is some form of sensitization. It's annoying that people try to make it look like it took a violent turn and we're out there for violence, but a lot of people got the message. I was in an interactive segment and that was hosted by one of these news outlets, and a lot of elderly people were there. I and a few protesters like joined in, and then you can see that even our parents, our grandparents, they are in support of all this. Like they were like, go ahead, we like what you're doing, we encourage you to do this. It's unfortunate that we don't have the strength to come out with you guys, and it's unfortunate that we cannot even sponsor you guys because it's going to people are going to think of it as being politically motivated or some other way, right? But you guys are doing it the right way, and if you keep at that, people are going to hear you eventually. Like eventually, on the long run, even if it's just a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line, you realize that because you left your house and you told the people in your family members that I'm going to protest, I'm going to put my life at risk to ensure that we have a better Nigeria. 2022, they might be coming to you and say, guy, Peekay, Ruffee, Sly, who do you think we should support in this election? Like that is one way. That's one of the ways I see it. Like people, when they see that you go out and you're doing this responsibly, people always want to come and seek your opinion. What do you think about this? We see that you are actually out there and you mean well for the country, and we think you are one of the people that we should be consulting. A time will come in Nigeria. It might not be now, but a time will come in Nigeria where people will go to churches, mosques, or ethnic gatherings, and their leaders will tell them something, but deep down in their mind, they are going to say, this one is a lie. I'm going to do this other one because I know it's the right thing to do. A time will come, but it's when we continuously do things like this. In Abuja, for example, I think they halted the protest for a while, but you can see that they are going out to paint the streets and conscientize people. In Plateau State, in Jos, we are doing the same thing. We've printed at least 4,000 flyers or so. We have banners, we have posters that we've been sharing to people, just so that you understand why we're even on the streets. The first sort of thing we are doing is conscientizing people on why we're on the streets. We laid out what we're protesting against, from bad policing to bad governance, and we told them that this is what we're protesting. Don't come and think that we are some irresponsible touts that we're looking for. You understand that we all need to block the road. See, we have these things. These are what we're doing. So let's just gradually do this. Let's see what happens in the future. But I'm very, very sure that all these ones are baby steps. All these ones are baby steps. For let me not say the first time, but for the first time since 1999, when we started celebrating our new democracy, I don't think there's any protest that got this reception and that was handled the way it was, because we didn't have any big person anywhere saying take funds.
Like Occupy Nigeria was politically
motivated. Occupy Nigeria was politically motivated. You understand? This one, no. See, who are the people that, if you want to even call, they are no leaders. But if you want to say, who are the people that you think that today were some of the backbones, you start calling Runtown, no political affiliation, Fowls, no political affiliation, FK Abutu, no political affiliation, Mo, no political affiliation. Like, you see that we are actually, it took us a long while. It took us years to come here, but we have seen that we don't need any politicians to come and do anything for us. We can actually do it ourselves. And when we spiral this information down to other people, people will start waking up. It's going to take time. We don't just turn the country.
Because that's where I have a problem. It's like Nigerians have collective amnesia, or we just like to we're easily distracted. We're talking about NSAS today. One very trivial issue comes up the next day, and then everyone just stops talking about NSAS, and then we're talking about something really trivial. So I think we've come to that point where we need to realize that we need to sustain the momentum. We need to sustain the momentum. It has to keep going, and I think it has to keep going up until 2023.
Yes.
So that the awareness is there. So that when people come, campaign year will start now. These same leaders are refusing to speak right now. They will come out. They want to start paying musicians to come for campaigns, paying young leaders in their little spaces to come out and support their campaigns. So it's very important, like you said, to keep sustaining this momentum and then keep it going and stuff. And then you can, like, talking about the faces you can pin, or you can affiliate to this or with this protest, like Runtown Files. More, we're hearing now that they're putting people in no-fly list. And one, Mo, as she was frustrated, she wasn't able to travel.
Yeah, her passport
was seized by the DSS. And then the Ministry of Interior is now coming out to say that these stories are fake. I think they just think when I screen grab stories and just watermark it with fake news, everybody just, and like we all said, people are becoming aware. You can't come and tell me. So if you say this is fake news,
Prove it.
You have to prove it, because these papers are coming and saying we have sources, we have documents, and what they try to do is they don't understand that the media have their policies. There are things that you can never ever disclose your source, especially if your sources that want to be under anonymity. You can never disclose, because the day you disclose your source, you've lost all credibility. And the newspaper won't just come out with that kind of allegation and then just come out and say publish it without any source or any verifiable source or any proof. It is just like saying what Northern governor said, that they've used ethnicity and they've used religion to quell the NSAS protest. Now, the newspaper that brought out this story brought it out with the documents. They didn't just come out and say this is what they said. So some of these, we know that we're in an era of fake news, and especially when we have social media, people, it's very easy to misinform people, But at the same time, we've come to that place where you can't just come and tell us that these people are wrong. You have to prove to us that, okay, if Mo's case was not what it is, you get, okay, tell us why her passport was seized. They will not come out to tell us, and stuff like that. So I think, we've come to that place, and it only, I think what this does is, it has only given the youth more ginger to keep fighting this fight, and then it also brings an air of suspicion on government. You're saying you're setting a judicial panel to listen to the plights of these people, and then you're going back door to try and frustrate their efforts also. So I think it is quite suspicious. So I think should we talk about like Lekki Tollgate, or we should end it here, or just share our
Lekki Tollgate, we can't. I mean,
exhaust it.
Yes, we can exhaust it, but also it's not something that we can talk about the protest and not speak about. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weakening. It's that in this day and time with Instagram live videos, then the government will now come and say it's a lie, and then later they'll say we were not there. Later they'll say it's because of coffee we put off the light. It's because of this we did that. It's because of that we did this. The governor invited us. No, we didn't shoot. We didn't. Then the minister will now come and find camera. like what?
Today they said it was hoodlums that were.
Yes, today.
And now they're even saying that the cameras were not even working.
Yes.
On the Tuesday.
Yes. So if they were not working, what did that guy find?
Well, which camera did he find?
It's just, and that's like that place is properly built. It's a purpose built. This thing is not like an event center or somebody's CCTV in your house.
Yeah.
I think they have millions of naira worth of equipment there. So they can't say that those cameras stop working.
Okay,
or
even
those
if the
cameras don't have
stopped
backup
working, but
power.
We had
people that captured it.
We had people that
Yeah,
captured it. It was
yeah.
well documented. It was even live. People were watching people die live, like in real time. So how do you doctor a live?
The thing
Yes,
is,
I think-
then Premium Times went to a community by the river and
Yes,
they
and
described how people came and shot people, and even one DPO
Yeah.
of some place, Makoko or something, one DPO, they described what he wore and how he pulled out a pistol and shot one guy point blank range. You know, people
It's found
in
a dead body in
one
one
of the lagoon or so. You know, like these things are out there for people to verify. And then, like a week after the thing happened, one guy's tweet,
Yeah.
which he tweeted like 1 hour before the shooting started, it had a video of soldiers pulling out of the barracks, and he said
he doesn't know where they're headed.
that he doesn't know where they are headed, though, but it might be something about, he drew the reference to Lekki, but he wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And then,
yes, they brought out tracing
Yes.
of it was
Google analytics or
Yes.
something. They put like from the video what he was showing. Then like the real angle, you see the outline.
mapped
Okay,
everything.
this is a tree. This is that tall building. This is the military beret. This is the emblem on his shoulder. Just to cross-check with other things that we know already of the place. And this thing has been verified and proven that it actually did happen. And then you see people that know things, like the special advisor to Plateau State government on ICT or something, Davo, talking about fake news. You see, what's his name? What's the name of that guy? Deza. With all the technology that Deza knows, with how intelligent Deza is, because you are government appointee, you can now not tell the truth. Like, haba.
Because these guys, you know how algorithms work. You know
You
how
understand?
technology works.
This has built.
You know the funny thing.
You know this thing, or
You know the funny thing. We're even talking about
This basic
we're
technology.
talking about the very incriminating evidence. Let's even forget about that very witnesses alone.
Like
In the
witnesses
US, you are a witness.
You're a
Your word
witness
is
alone.
your word is
Yes,
cast
your word
on
is bond.
stone. You understand?
Yes.
But here, when we ignoring the witnesses, we
Yes.
say, okay, let's forget the witnesses. Let's talk about the recordings, the documentation, and they are saying no. Some people said it's green screen. One girl was like, it's green screen. I don't think she was even a government person. Said like it could have been green screen. They use some sophisticated what they call it tech tools to broadcast it. I was like, dude, are you kidding
And
me?
then you go
People in Oriental Hotel were recording and they were posting it live.
I said this was on Instagram live as if people were watching it. How
And it's not
and-
just 5 people's videos. Oh.
Yes, no.
There are hundreds of different videos from different angles.
So it's rather unfortunate. And then what is even suspicious again is families of victims go to the morgue and try to identify bodies, and you don't allow them into the morgue to even identify bodies. And there are reports that are saying that soldiers took 9 bodies to the police. Police rejected that because they do not want anything that will further incriminate them. So where are these bodies? I think, like you said, if we are going to neglect like the most basic of evidence, which is witnesses, you get their technologies, their witnesses. I don't know how they're going to get out of this, but anyways, I think we'll keep monitoring what is happening, what is going on, and then we'll take it up from there. So, any last thoughts, PK?
Man, I really just feel like, let me just touch on the social media bill, right? I really think it's still our responsibility to do what these guys are claiming that they want to do. They claim that they want to regulate social media so that they can eradicate false news and hate speeches. I think we should be ahead of them. We owe ourselves, that, because false news can actually affect any of us here. Fake news can actually affect any of us here. Hate speech can affect any of us here. So we should, on our own path, play that role. How do we become ambassadors of this kind of thing? Because at the end of the day, nobody wants false news.
But
It's a bad thing.
But again, there are laws.
Yeah, there are laws. But we are in Nigeria, right? We are trying to say, what we are saying currently is that the government is not doing what we want to do. We want to lead it. Let us try on our own path. The government should do theirs, but we should do it on our own path. So how do we on our own regulate it?
Yeah.
I think that's what the last word I have.
Big.
Okay, you talked about social media. Let me just talk about like protests. I think we got to a point where everybody just felt. I don't know what happened that day, but if you're on Twitter, you realize everybody just went cool about the whole protest. I think that was their feminist coalition said they are done with the whole thing. So everybody just went calm. Everybody just went. But I don't know if I don't think anything that's happened should actually make us back out at this point because we've gone too far for us to just give up at this point. A lot of people lost their lives just because of the protest. If protest didn't happen, a lot of people will be alive today. People that died because of the protest. So I don't think it's not going to be fair on them if we just give up. We might go low for now. I'm very sure sensitization and conscientization is actually a very great step, especially towards 2023 because this is what I've been saying. There are a lot of people, our parents and lots of other people that don't know what is happening up to this point. They just get fed whatever is being shown on TV. And we know who
And
controls the
WhatsApp
TV.
broadcast.
And WhatsApp broadcast, exactly. So now this is what I've been saying here. All these fake fashion finding camera that we're saying to us is ridiculous, but our parents will believe it hands down.
Yes.
This is something they've been fed since, so they believe it because we're a different kind of generation, so we know all these things are lies. So I think it's our responsibility to also explain to them, tell them this thing, this is what's happening. So that's why I think sensitization is also a very important aspect of this protest.
Well, yes, like you said, sensitization is also important, but it's more on sensitization. Everybody, I think each one of us has, we are privileged in the sense that we have people in communities that look up to us. This guy goes school, or I just won't be like this guy. All these people who call you senior man, big bros, how far now? It should be on us to educate them, not just on NSAS, just about what decisions are right and what decisions are wrong. Like it was nice how during during the protest, the times I was there, there was one time soldiers pulled up, and then you find there was this guy, I don't want to call his name, he's the 7 Air Force officer, but he was there every day in Mufti, and he just walks to the front and like, guys, he talks to the soldiers. Obviously he will introduce himself, and they'll turn back and go and look for another route to pass.